This is pretty hard. I don't even know how to start, really. But let's just get started. So I started this channel because I wanted to give my thoughts on different things that I was thinking about. Different things than just video or marketing or business. I have broader thoughts and I needed a way to express them, and this is the channel. This is the way that I'm going to do it. Now, I don't like to be involved in politics because I think it's a giant game and it's not real. It is real, but it's like doesn't really make sense to join in on the fun because it's not fun. And it just doesn't. We don't really have influence. And I'll give you an example. I don't really want to go into all the politics because we will just end up having a discussion about nothing. And that's essentially what a lot of people on, for example, Facebook do. People love discussions, but most of the time they don't lead to anything. So I don't really want to involve myself in that. But right now, something is happening. You know, there's what's it called? The trias politica, where there are three forces of power. There's the what's it in English? Like the people that create the law and the people that uphold the law, like the police. And then there's the judges, right? The court that judges the law. Not sure if I say this correctly in English, but basically you have like the politicians, police, and then court and judges. And the powers are separated because if one entity has all the powers, then they can create the law, they can judge the law, and they can enforce the law. And that makes it a good position to be corrupted. That makes it a good position to just have your own agenda and enforce anything you want. Now, this is a really interesting thing. So you have three forces that uphold the law, let's say. And it's a good system. I like the system. That's a good system. Laws are good. But the way that it's being done right now, that's, I don't know. Like, there's, I live in the Netherlands, for if you don't already know, and there's a curfew right now for Corona. I have no idea why exactly, because curfew doesn't really work, I think. But all right, we have a curfew. And a lot of people were not satisfied with it. A lot of people were not agreeing with that, but we got a curfew. And now the judges, or the force that judges the law, has told the creating the politicians that it's not that they can't have the curfew. The forces that judge the law, that are created by the politicians, have told the politicians that the law of that curfew, they don't want the curfew in the country because it violates some human rights. So, all right now we have the judging law telling the makers of the law that they can't make that one law. And what do the politicians do? Right now, they said to the judging force, no, we're just going to keep it. And I want you to understand how bad that is. Because now, the politicians who are upholding the whole framing, right? They have the narrative. People listen to the politicians for some reason. I don't know why, but they listen to the politicians. And now the politicians say, no, the judging force doesn't matter. We're going to keep it up. And that's a big problem because the enforcing forces, they also listen to the politicians. And so all the power is coming to the politicians. And that's not a good idea. Now, I got really mad about this, or I got triggered by this in a way that I haven't been triggered in a long time. Because that's just not right. And then, well, I got mad about it. I got a lot of feelings about it. And then I thought, well, that's not really the way that we can solve things, right? Because that will just, if I would be here ranting in a emotional state and ranting about how bad everything is and how bad the system is and all that, the only thing that will do is attract the people that agree with me and then push away the people that I actually want to reach. That's basically it. Like, the only thing that would happen then is I would create even more, we would even divide, we would increase the, what's the word? We would increase the, how divided we are as humans. And that's not constructive. So that's why I'm sitting here. I'm just telling you, right now in the Netherlands, there's a curfew, and we're saying it's the democracy, but we have been forced for lockdown. We have been forced to have a curfew, and now that the judges say that it's not that the curfew isn't justified, now we are still forced to have a curfew. I won't say anything else. You can make your decisions. You can see what that means to you. But yeah, we have that situation right now, and I know a lot of people get triggered. I got triggered as well. I saw my brother. He saw a I don't know what his actual role was, but my brother was going with the train, and then he saw some kind of officer with a dog, like a security dog, standing there telling people they should put on a mask outside. Doesn't make any sense, but it's there, and we are being forced to put on a mask. We are being forced to do stuff by people who are not entitled for that position. I mean, we are being ruled by politicians that don't know. Yeah, they do know how to play the politicians game, but they don't know a lot about life. I mean, politicians are just people. And most people nowadays, or most people that have been raised in the 1900s, they have never learned anything about the right brain, the creating energies. They have only been taught about the left brain structural thinking. And so what that does is it creates an imbalance. So they are not thinking straight. I'm not saying everyone is not thinking straight, but a lot of our politicians, and I'm talking about the Netherlands, but I'm also talking about the United States. I know a lot of people from the United States are watching. You would probably agree that some people in the in politics don't really think right. And also they have a lot of people behind them, right? What I'm saying is that a lot of politicians, and I'm saying politicians because those are the people that have influence. Like, there are a bunch of other people in that same category, but they don't have influence, so doesn't really matter. But the people of influence, they haven't been developing themselves in ways they should. They don't have a healthy mind. The only thing that they're thinking about is left brain stuff. The only thing that they're thinking about is numbers and linear thinking. While life is not linear, that doesn't make any sense. We have man, I'm losing words today. We have we have new rules for COVID, right? We have new rules about the distancing and all those things, and we are completely forgetting that is ruining our society, because we need touch, we need emotions, we need things, and there's so much stress out there right now that I really believe that there are more deaths from stress and from emotions that are being cropped up than actually COVID. And the only reason why we're not seeing that is because we're only measuring things in a linear way. We're only measuring things in a left brain thinking way. Doesn't make any sense. And all our decisions are being The politicians are all making decisions on left brain thinking stuff, and their brain is just, they're not eating the right food. Have you ever seen almost all the politicians that, like, what's it called, Ministry of Health or something, like the people that need to look after health of our society or of the people? Most of those politicians that look after health are not eating healthy. Like, doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. We're listening to people who are not walking their own talk. Like, we're listening to just people that have studied for something, and they have been taught to just repeat different things, and now all of a sudden their opinion matters. Like, they don't have any experience. They just learned how to go with the system. The system is broken, and we're still listening to the same system. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I will make more videos about this because I need to express myself, and I also think that some people might get some value out of this. I will analyze this a little bit further because I'm also just thinking about this right now, because I've been ignoring general politicians, general games within society, because I already thought it was all nonsense. But now I'm kind of, I don't know, I have the feeling that I have to express. I have to show people that there's another way. There's a better way. So I'm going to analyze this a little bit further, because it doesn't make sense that we are listening to people that don't know anything. There are so much more smarter people than the politicians. Like, why are we listening to people who are less smart than people we know? Like, if you think about common sense, a lot of politicians, when have you seen common sense in them? Doesn't make sense. We're listening to people who are not qualified to be talking, and there needs to be some change. Like, I already am not listening to those people, but as a society, we still give them power, and I think that's weird. I think that's really, really weird. If you are sitting in a classroom and you're like in a let's see, if you would have English lessons to learn how to talk English, and your teacher doesn't really know English and is just talking gibberish and doesn't really understand English, would you listen? No, you wouldn't. And so I think that's a pretty reasonable analogy. It might be a little bit extreme for you, but like, literally, I think that is the situation right now. Yeah, this video has been long enough. I'll talk a little bit more about this because something needs to get out, and every video that I make will get it out a little bit better. That's a quick tip for you. Every time you want to understand something, start talking about it. You will find different ways. Your brain will start to work. Stop listening to people who are not qualified. Start thinking for yourself.